Welcome. We got a little homework tonight based on basics with equations and inequalities. We're going to go over some terminology, some strategies, checking solutions, the very, very basics of equations, which obviously will, as the year goes on, get into more and more with those. Here we go with a couple of terms. What is an equation? Well, if we have two expressions, something like 4x and 12, those are two separate expressions, 1 and 2 here with the 4x and the 12. All we do to make this an equation is put an equal sign in between them. That makes that an equation. Okay? The solution of any particular equation, what it is it creates a true statement when you take that value and you substitute it back into the equation, which is really what we're going to focus on here initially. So if we look at this equation, I know what the answer is. The answer to that is x equals 3. How do I know that? Well, if I come here and I do 4 times 3 equals 12. I check it by doing, well, 4 times 3 is 12, and hopefully we all know that 12 equals 12, and this right here is true. So it's a solution. So kind of picking up with that are checking solutions. Here we have two examples. Check whether 2 and 3 are solutions. So let's start by writing this down. 3x plus 1 equals 7. We're going to write it down twice because we have two different ones to try. We want to compare them side by side. So we have 3x plus 1 equals 7. Let's start with 2. So we come and we do 3 times 2. We substitute the 2 in for our variable x, add 1, and that equals 7. Well, maybe. We all know, hopefully, that 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 equals 7. Well, what is 6 plus 1? That is 7. So we get 7 equals 7. That is true. Okay. Now, let's check 3. Check 3 here, and then we'll compare them. 3 times 3 plus 1 equals 7. So again, like over here, I made a substitution. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 1 equals 7. 9 plus 1 is 10. We get 10 equals 7. That is false. So what that means is x equals 2 is a solution. X equals 3 is not a solution. And that's just based on the fact that we get a true statement when we substitute 2 in, and we get a false statement when we substitute 3 in. So we kind of had the answer there first and checked it. How do we get that answer? And then we're not really going to get into solving equations until next week, but here's just the basics of it, a really simple equation. The actual solving an equation is finding all solutions of the equations. Typically, most of the time, there is only one solution to an equation. If we look here at this example, consider x plus 2 equals 5. Okay, x plus 2 equals 5. Let's think of this question. How would we solve that? Well, we want to think of what number added to 2 is 5. 2 plus what equals 5? What plus 2 equals 5? So that's what we're looking at. So if I look at this x plus 2 equals 5, I got to think of what plus 2 equals 5. Well, 1 plus 2 equals 3. 2 plus 2 equals 4. 3 plus 2 equals 5. So there I get an answer. Okay? Just to give you a little preview of how we're going to find that next week, what we would do is we would take this 2 away from this side and take it away from the other side, and that would ultimately give us x equals 3. Okay? And we could check that. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 is equal to 5. Again, this is a true statement. False. Doesn't work. False. Doesn't work. Okay? And again, we can typically assume for the most part, there'll be a couple special cases where it's not true, that there is one solution for an equation. So a couple of things here to match up. Go ahead and give these a shot on your own here, and I'll come back and give you the answers here shortly. All you would need to do here is pause the video and work these out. So, like an equation, an inequality, how you get that is you take two expressions, the same ones we did before. We can do 4x and 12, but now this time all we do is we put an inequality symbol on the inside between them instead of an equal sign. Okay? And again, the solution of an inequality is any number that produces a true statement when it is substituted into the original inequality. So I think when we did this before, we got x equals 3 as our answer. So let's check that. 4 times 3, we want to see if that's greater than 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 is greater than 12. Well, that's not true. That's false. So 3 is not a solution to that inequality. Let's check another number. Let's try 4 times 5. Let's try x equals 5. See if that's greater than 12. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 is greater than 12. Okay? So 5 would be a solution. And you'll come to find that there's going to be a ton of solutions for inequality. Most of them have infinite solutions. So again, we're going to check a couple of these. Determine if 4 is a solution to the following inequalities. Let's start with 2x minus 1 less than 8. Okay, we're checking 4. So now I have 2 times 4. We're going to substitute it back in because we're checking it. Minus 1 is less than 8. Well, 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 1 less than 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. We get 7 is less than 8. Is that true? Yes, that's true. So that means x equals 4 is a solution. Okay. Let's try x plus 4. Greater than 9. Again, our substitution's the same. We're checking 4. So I have 4 plus 4 greater than 9. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 is greater than 9. That we know is false. So x equals 4 is not a solution. Okay. And this last one here, actually I'm going to go ahead and erase these ones. X minus 3 greater than or equal to 1. Again, we're going to substitute 4 in. 4 minus 3 is greater than or equal to 1. Well, what is 4 minus 3? That's 1. Greater than or equal to 1. Is 1 greater than or equal to 1? Absolutely it is. It is equal to. So this is true. So that means x equals 4 is a solution. That was the basics of solving equations, and we will come back actually to here, get you some answers. This first one, number 1, what number plus, this is E, 2 is C, 3 is A, 4 is B, and then 5 is D. So those are your answers to those samples.